welcome to the Anti-Diet Meals with Farah Karampouri. I'm your host, Deepak practitioner, podcaster, and founder of the 30-day Anti-Diet Challenge. Welcome to my kitchen on Tuesday evening. We are making beef meatballs with rice and some green beans. Green beans are in season at the moment. They are right at the front as you go into Aldi. You'll see them because they are those vegetables, just seasonal vegetables. They're placed right in front of Aldi. That's why I like Aldi, because they are just available easily. So you can go buy them. This particular one has come from Siberia. Anyway, okay, and so we have got a little bit of oil here where we're going to just put these meatballs. Now this is a midweek meal for a family of four, busy family of four, where we're not going to make the meatballs from scratch. None of that, to be honest, because they're absolutely fine to just use this. This one is the least fat meatballs, which is absolutely fine. 100% British beef. Another thing that I really like about Aldi is also their meat. It's actually really good quality. So we're going to just pop them, fry them off, and then we're going to put some sauce, onion garlic sauce, and that's the dinner for today. So we do have quite a big portion of it. So it is 24 meatballs. We're just going to give them a good mix. So we're going to leave them for a minute just to cook at the moment. I've just put a tiny bit of water for the green beans. Now with green beans, all you need to do is just chop off the ends here. So chopping off a little ends. Again, take a whole bunch of them, chop off the ends, give them a good wash, and then they can go in. So I'm going to cook all of them because I want us to have a good amount of vegetable on our plate. That's always my something that I aspire to, really, to making sure that we have enough variety. I'm also going to put spinach in this dinner at the end. Again, another way of getting a little bit more vegetable in there. I thought I'd chop them right in front of you guys so you can see what I'm doing. So just that little bit at the end, that's what you've got to take off. I'm actually going to take this away and do it here. But you can see me still. Only because I'm right next to the heat in this jumper. Very cold today, guys. So what are you having for dinner tonight? Let me know in the comment below. What are you making for dinner? And if you've made anything that I've made in the past, tag me below, let me know how you got on with that. So another really simple dinner really, guys. Rather than, again, doing a takeaway, not sure what to make, you can actually get a really nice meal cooked in a wok with some meatballs. You can have a small amount of rice with it. You can have pasta with it maybe as well. It's okay to have pasta a couple of times in a week or once. Especially if you're on a maintenance journey. If you are on a weight loss journey, you could go for more non-processed. So if you have kids, you probably will eat pasta. Just the portion. It's not the food, it's the portion maybe that needs to be more, you need to pay more attention to. Because usually when you have pasta, people definitely for fact will give themselves more pasta, more rice than they can absorb in terms of their energy expenditure. I.e., carbs are required for us to burn energy, but if you have a moved all day, right, and then you fill up your plate with massive pasta, how will you burn that off? Think about that. So give yourself enough food to sustain the energy that you need. And make sure that it's tasty. So important to have delicious food, by the way. I was listening to a podcast earlier, and it was about mood and food. Really good one, actually. And it was saying about how some of the foods can increase anxiety. Very, very true. So sugar, refined sugar, cane sugar is one of them. That can actually increase your anxiety if you already have some in the first place. So making sure that your diet doesn't contain too much sugar. Which is very hard because everywhere there is sugar, especially approaching Christmas. I'm going to wash my beans. best thing to do is to just soak the beans. Sometimes just soak it and make them nice and clean as well. Just wash them in a different pan. So water being boiled here. Let's pop the beans. We want them nice and soft. We might even add a tiny bit of butter on top to give that a good taste to it. Again, so these are getting nice and brown. I don't need to wait for it to actually become completely brown, so we're just going to add a little bit of our own spices to this. So here you can either have tomato sauce that you've made yourself, or some days, you know what, the reality is you're busy and you just need to get the dinner out on the table, and I like this one. This is onion and garlic already in there, so rather than making my own today, I'm just going to use this. This is one of the tricks to open a jar. Okay, now let me tell you about this one. The reason I've chosen this is because in a quarter of a jar, there's a teaspoon of sugar, which is natural from tomatoes. So there is no added sugar in this. There's no added sugar in this sauce. So really make sure that when you're picking your sauce, is it a good one? If not, go for plain tomatoes, put it in a blender with a bit of, we've done this actually in one of my first ever videos, where we put some spinach and some peppers, some salt, some chili, and we made our own. Adding a little bit of water in there from the kettle, giving it a shake. So I wouldn't eat this every single day because I hardly buy those sauces, to be honest. But I think every now and then you're actually fine to do so. But pick a right one, pick a one which is not too high in sugar. Okay, let's season this up now. Everything is starting to come to a boil. The rice is boiling nicely, the vegetables are. Close the lids of the vegetable, really important, so the nutrients are staying in the pot. Okay, we're going to season this rice. There, we're going to season the meat. We're going to put some crushed chili in it. I'm going to also put some cumin in it because I really like cumin in meatballs. Again, if you're making meatballs of our own, we would have put this all in the meatballs themselves as well. So, now what I want you to just do is bring it to boil. Now we're going to add, just bring it to boil and let it cook for a little bit. Bring the rice down as well to just plain white rice. My kids don't like brown, so we're not having that. But when you serve it for yourself, no more than 1 ladle of rice. That's it. And how quick was this dinner? It's a bit of a cheat, but it's ready in literally 10 minutes, not even joking. So meatballs are super quick to get ready. Make sure they are cooked right through though, so don't take it off before that. Basically, by the time you put your meat, covered it up, right? You've got just a few more seconds, a few more minutes just to do the rice. Once the rice has kind of come to a boil, the water is evaporated, pop the lid back on top of that so it can just be cooking, simmering. Or I want to cook food on a medium heat rather than really burn it and super fast. So I'm going to just cover up my rice as well. I'm going to just show you, I'm going to bring the camera over, show you what all the food looks like right now so that you can see it for yourself. Tidy up a little bit here. Okay, I'll show you something actually. What my son's made, which was beautiful today. Bless him. He has made apple crumble. So it's very sweet. A lot of sugar in it, white sugar. So there's apples underneath with orange juice. I've never actually done this. It's called the winter crumble. So there's apples with orange juice in it, layered underneath. That's how he told me. Also with some sugar on top. Cinnamon, optional. And then on top is the crumble, which is the flour, the butter, and more sugar. They must have used their hands to kind of mix it together and popped on the top. So he cooked it for 10 minutes in school, and then he finished it off at home, and actually is very sugary and tasty. But he's very proud of it. Saving that for his dad. Okay, so let's bring the camera over and show you what this dinner looks like. Over to the ready eating dough. Here is our meatballs. Then we've got, we're getting a bit steamy, beans, and then we've got the, oh, it's getting really steamy now. Let's take it away from there. These are vegetables I cook in the house every day, by the way, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So, meatballs, we're going to put some spinach on here in a second. Where's that spinach? I haven't got it out. The green beans and the rice. I really think the vegetables are not enough. I would say more vegetables are needed. The steam means that you can't see properly now. Can you see me? Yes, you can. Okay, so let's give it another little mix. You could put a little bit of peppers in it now, in this meat. Put some tiny little chopped vegetables, especially if you've got kids that are picky. They might not notice that it's in it. And you might think, well, who puts peas in their meatballs? You know, who cares who puts peas? Stop following other people. Have your own mind. If my kids only ate peas, I would put the peas in here. I'll be thinking about, well, how can I get my kids to eat more vegetable versus who puts peas in the meatballs? Who decides that? It's your choice. It's absolutely fine to put peas in the meatballs. And my kids actually do eat peas, so I might be tempted to do that. Okay, so our vegetables, here they are. Make sure they're not burnt because the water has evaporated. Just want to check it if it's soft enough. Don't think they are soft yet. Put a little tiny bit more water in the beans. Bear with me, guys. Just going to put some fresh water in it because it seems like the bottom of the pan. Right, fresh water in there, put them back in there and bring them to boil. There we go. Okay, I will check one to see if it's cooked. It's actually soft, really soft. Really nice actually. Sometimes, what my mum would do, is you cut the end and then you pull the side string as well, because sometimes it can be stringy. Okay, let's put more vegetables in our okay, for sure I'm going to put some spinach. Baby spinach or washed and ready to go, so buy this every week. Or two of them sometimes. Cover up the vegetables, don't need them open. And at this stage you can check one of the meatballs to see if it's cooked. Now, what you're doing is, the spinach must always go on the top. You don't want to cook it to start off with and wilt it so badly that it's got nothing left. So chop it up, in your hand, just break it, pop it on the top. You know how spinach can really quickly wilt. So I'm going to just do that. So additional bit of vegetables going in there. A little trick there for you. And now you do is you cover it so then the spinach can get cooked. There are benefits of cooking spinach and benefits of not cooking spinach, by the way. Both are beneficial. Both release different vitamins and minerals, so both ways are good. But if it doesn't suit you to eat raw, then don't eat raw. Eat cooked. As simple as that, really. But they both are good. Okay, the rice now is absolutely ready and soft. Again, it's only cooked in water with no butter, no oil in it, nothing. These little things really add up. To be honest, there's no need. Now, another trick to add more vegetables would be to add some frozen peas now into your rice, put the lid on, and the frozen peas will just get cooked with hot rice. Another way for your kids or you getting extra vegetables. Might not be too many, but you know, that's better than nothing. So let's plate it up. Female portion. I'm only going to show you female portion, obviously, because that's what I'm doing this channel for. Yeah, female portion of rice is no more than this, and you're probably going to freak out when you see this, but here you go. That's the portion. That is the size of my hand. And if you're still hungry, you can always get more. But wait and see if you really are hungry before you make that decision. The biggest, my biggest success of how I get my weight in control comes from my portion control. There we go. Now I'm gonna, but here, on the meatballs, I want you to be a bit more generous than you have been in the past with yourself. So I'm gonna go for at least 3 to 4 meatballs. And take a little sauce as well. And then for my veggies, I'm going to be even more generous. So you're going to keep the carb low, particularly if I haven't moved much today. And don't be, what I've put on my plate just now, this is what I normally see. Even with my clients, I see that. And then I do make sure that I tell them, more vegetables, please. At least this many vegetables. Now, I totally believe that the amount of this put on there is, let's turn all of this off, this is all cooked now, while I've been talking to you today. It's the quickest dinner ever. I'm going to bring the camera in and show you the amount I've actually served you here. Look at my size of my hand here, so let's do a little tutorial here. This is my hand, this is how much rice. Perhaps I've been a bit tight with it, I think. One may say that, but this is our 4 meatballs here. 1, 2, 3, 4, at least. Go for 5 if you want. It's okay to have more protein, remember. And then at least this many vegetables. I feel if I could tuck these in, I can get another little vegetable there as well. Maybe some peas, some broccoli, some cucumber, a bit of salad maybe. And you want to increase that, and that's how you want to eat. Versus getting loads of rice on your plate, that is going to put the weight on. This, not this, not this, this. Why? Because this requires you to burn the energy. This is low carbs vegetables. And protein has little calories, not too many, especially when it's cooked. I mean, this one's probably a little higher because we've cooked it in a prepared tomato sauce, where if you made it yourself, it's even more, it's even better. I don't even taste this actually. It's a little yummy, yummy, yummy. And then this is what you need to be careful of. But you might think this is not how I eat. I mean, you must be kidding if I'm going to eat only this little. And there we go. I should get a camera angle so you can see it. Not definitely a camera angle, no. There we go. Here we go, without showing everything else. Here we go. So, there is your portion. Eat like this, guys, and you will be very quickly in the best shape of your life. That's my promise to you. And this is the exact reason for coming on here and doing this channel. It's not exactly to show you exotic dishes, because quite frankly, I don't make them. I make real food like this, and some days it's a little bit of a cheat, that's reality, but I eat like this. That is real. Hope you've learned a valuable lesson here. Now, if you're used to eating a full plate of rice and you absolutely think this is ridiculous what Farah's talking about, I will challenge you to reduce it slightly. The thing is, the full plate of rice is not serving you right now. If your child's eating a full plate of rice and they're a footballer or they're playing or they're constantly burning energy, versus a person who's more sedentary and also a little bit older, maybe perhaps entering menopause or perimenopausal, you want to really look at your carbohydrates, because those are the most eaten items. It's in everything. It's in everything that you pick up throughout the day. So 1 plate of rice can really set you back. So your insulin level, as the carbs go in, gets shot up. And the body's working really hard to break down the carbohydrates, the extra carbohydrates. So it keeps storing it as fat in your body, and then you need to bust your ass at the gym to get rid of that. But more than that, the more effective method of reducing your weight is to bring down some of what you're eating, some of the portions you're eating. So portion control is a massive thing that I teach my clients. And once we get that right, we start to see the results. And this is not a diet. This is a method and a lifestyle change that you create. At the minute, you might think, well, I'm going to be starving, things like that. But you don't know that yet because you haven't tried it. You haven't had enough vegetables, perhaps. So start looking at your plate. How are you serving yourself? Does your serving you create what you want? Does it help your goal? And then again, another thing that I always talk about is in serving your husband or a partner or a male person in the house, their rice portion according to their hand size. So if your plate is the same as your husband, something isn't right. But they are burning 30% faster their calories than you are. So let's get real about this versus complain and it's not fair. It is not fair. However, once you've got over that bit, let's start eating like that. I was exactly the same when I first found out, when I was first doing my nutrition studies. But the more I find out, the more true it actually is. It's the carbohydrates. How much are you eating of those? At the moment, carbs are here, proteins here. Vegetables are down here. Let's bring it in line. Let's bring it in line. Bring the carbohydrate down. Let's bring up the protein slightly. You're not hitting the 3 proteins even a day. You're not. I know that you're not. So just bring that up and then bring the vegetables in here to give you the minerals and nutrients that your body is fighting for. There we go. Thank you so much for watching and I hope that this has been useful, little lesson, and I will catch you tomorrow night. Bye for now.